It was a quiet, overcast evening in the small town of Elmwood, nestled among rolling hills and farmland deep in rural Oregon. The stillness was only broken by distant traffic and the occasional bark of a dog. It was the kind of night where you could almost hear the grain on the wooden floors swell. Life was simple here. Folk knew their neighbors, and kids played until dusk under the dim glow of streetlights. In a place like this, crime was rare. Whispers of violence were whispers only, not facts. But sometimes, a single act can crack the veneer of calm. And on this particular night, something happened that would shake Elmwood to its core. Revealing secrets buried beneath years of polite smiles and quiet routines. The story began at 125 Maple Drive, a modest one-story home with lavender shutters and a well-kept yard. Its occupant, Sarah Thompson, was a 28-year-old nurse at Elmwood General Hospital. She was soft-spoken, intelligent, and kind, a person who would stay behind after a shift to comfort patients or cover extra hours when the unit was short-staffed. To many, Sarah was the beating heart of the community, a beacon of empathy. But as investigators discovered, what seemed like an open book was hiding a tangled web of secrets and lies. It was a Tuesday, January 12, 2023. Sarah was scheduled for her morning shift at 7 a.m., but she never showed. Her co-worker, Laura Kim, grew concerned when Sarah failed to respond to multiple texts and calls. Laura, who had been mirroring Sarah's commute for weeks, subsequently notified the hospital's on-call supervisor. The decision was made. Someone had to check on Sarah. At around 10 a.m., officers arrived at the home. The front door wasn't forced but was unlocked. A microsecond of oversight or something more sinister. Inside, the interior appeared largely undisturbed. The sofa in the center of the living room faced the television. A vase with dried flowers remained on the coffee table. But on the floor, in a pool of dried blood, lay Sarah's limp body. 13 stab wounds to the chest, each inflicted with meticulous precision. Nearby was an overturned chair. Blood-smattered fingerprints smudged the windowsills and walls. The house phone and Sarah's mobile phone were missing. Her cat, Oliver, meowed from his perch in the hallway, unbothered, the only witness to the atrocity. Detective Marcus Reed, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for patience and insight, led the case. He examined the scene, taking countless photographs, dusting for fingerprints, bagging every piece of evidence. No weapon, no forced entry, no ransom note. The only thing certain, Sarah had been brutally murdered in her home. And whoever did this, did so deliberately. Reed began with the primary leads. People closest to Sarah. First on the list, her ex-boyfriend, Jason Miller. They'd been together for 3 years, breaking up amicably 6 months before. Or so it seemed? Text message backups recovered by digital forensics. Voluminous messages Rachel hadn't wanted to discuss with co-workers, painted a different picture. Jason was obsessed. 57 messages in the final month, ranging from pleadings to angry accusations. Some read, "Why don't you call me?" Others, "You owe me the truth." Jason claimed innocence and said he hadn't seen Sarah in months. He'd moved to the next town. But police video from the gas station 3 blocks away placed him there at 11:30 p.m. Saturday, just an hour before her time of death, estimated between midnight and 12:15 a.m. He had no apparent injuries that night. Weighing motive and presence, Reed brought him in for questioning. Next was Laura Kim, Sarah's best friend and co-worker. The two shared shifts and commutes. Laura had been the first person to alert hospital authorities when Sarah didn't show. She posted heartfelt tributes on social media. But as the case progressed, whispers surfaced. A dispute between them after Sarah threatened to file a malpractice report on a patient. Laura claimed it was nothing. Just stress from work. Yet deleted voice memos retrieved from her phone revealed anger and betrayal. "It's like she set out to ruin me," Laura was heard saying. In interviews, she downplayed the issue as gossip, but that voice memo disturbed investigators. In Sarah's phone history was a curious thread. She called the local police non-emergency line twice. Never speaking. Calls lasted under a minute. What had she been afraid to say? And in the hours before her death, 5 texts were sent to an unknown prepaid phone registered under the name T. Collins. The number pinged near an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Elmwood. Authorities organized a covert search of the site and discovered Sarah's missing phone buried beneath dirt and debris in a corner of the warehouse. The phone was functional, still had battery, still had fingerprints. Digital forensics recovered a 38-second video, captured just before her death, in which Sarah whispers into the camera, "If anything happens to me, check the clinic files. Dr. Fraser, you'll know what she's found." Then Sarah looks off camera, startled, the phone falls, and there's a scream. That was it. No more footage, no more hope. At Elmwood General, investigators found Sarah's locker in a secure area further from the public eye. Behind a false panel at the bottom was hidden a USB drive encrypted but accessible to the hospital computer system. Sarah's encryption was crude but enough. Once unlocked, the files contained patient charts, showing signs of altered consent, experimental treatments without proper authorization, signatures forged, and a recurring name, Dr. William Fraser, head of surgery. A respected figure, conferences, donation galas, library fundraisers, yet rumored hush settlements related to malpractice claims. Sarah had stumbled on something dangerous. Not just cover-ups, but active research using untested drugs administered without consent, some resulting in patient harm. She had been gathering proof to report. Suddenly, the situation became clear. Motive now involved far more than a domestic dispute. It involved life and death stakes, reputations, careers, and possibly international scrutiny. Dr. Fraser was a philanthropist, but also a man with powerful connections and deep pockets. Could he have orchestrated a crime to stifle a whistleblower? Perhaps. However, suspicion remained speculation until physical evidence tied him to the crime scene. Consultant forensic imagery analysts enhanced frames from Sarah's dying video. In the faint reflection of a glass cabinet in the video background, they saw a figure, tall, balding, in scrubs. A fierce comparison with Dr. Fraser's appearance confirmed the match. Detective Reed, following protocol, secured a warrant and arrested Dr. Fraser at home. In his garage, hidden under insulation, lay a clean, surgical knife. Forensics matched it to wounds. Sarah's DNA was on the blade. The public reaction was explosive. Townspeople who admired Fraser felt betrayed. Protests formed outside the hospital. Patients demanded answers. Families filed lawsuits. The media swooped in with cameras and drones. Dr. Fraser remained silent at first, then issued a statement claiming, "I would never, and will never, break the law." But prosecutors had the knife. Phone video reflection, financial records of hush payments, and numerous witnesses testifying to Sarah's discovery of malpractice. During pre-trial hearings, we learned more of Fraser's inner world. Sleepless nights after Sarah's revelation, increasingly secretive meetings in his office, phone calls to shady legal counsel late into the night. His defense team argued the knife belonged to a legal collector in the household, and the reflection could be optical noise. They claimed Sarah was paranoid, possibly fabricating evidence in medical logs due to stress. None of it held. Witnesses testified Sarah had never wavered, in her belief that she was onto a big story. Lab reports on altered charts validated her claims of forgery by hospital staff. The trial was televised. Jurors listened to testimony from friends who recounted Sarah's bruised spirit after discovering falsified consents. Nurses confirmed she had replaced charts with real documents backup files. Experts authenticated Sarah's last video, highlighting the faint figure in reflection. The prosecution presented DNA, fingerprints, financial records, the withheld phones. The defense claimed coincidence, but their arguments crumbled in cross-examination. After 2 weeks, the jury retired. They returned with a verdict, guilty of first-degree murder. Dr. William Fraser was sentenced to life in prison without parole. In court, he remained solemn, expressionless, perhaps relieved it was finally over. But for Elmwood, nothing would ever be the same. In the aftermath, hospital administration collapsed under scrutiny. Internal audits revealed years of unreported incidents. A whistleblower hotline was installed. Third-party regulators took over. Sarah's family sued the hospital and city, securing compensation and initiating new patient protection laws in Oregon. For the people of Elmwood, Sarah Thompson became a hero posthumously. Murals were painted downtown. A scholarship fund was established in her name for aspiring nurses devoted to ethics and patient rights. Laura Kim, after being fired, moved to Seattle and retrained as a patient advocate. Jason Miller relocated to, his story tarnished but innocently uninvolved in violence. Oliver the cat was adopted by Sarah's sister and lives a peaceful life now. District attorneys pledged to improve investigation standards. Police installed better non-emergency lines to intake anonymous tips. The story of Sarah Thompson, the nurse who uncovered corruption and paid the ultimate price, will never fade. Elmwood's safe facade cracked, but from the cracks emerged a reckoning. New laws were enacted. Tiny hospitals across America were reminded, ethics cannot be buried beneath covers. Whistleblowers merit protection, not silencing. This case stands as testament to one woman's courage. A person many knew casually, a co-worker, neighbor, friend. But who, in her final acts, became an unforgettable force for accountability. Her story reminds us, vigilance requires sacrifice, and justice comes after bravery.